G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We are here on the brand new expansion for Age of Empires 4. This is the Sultan's Ascent. We are here on Dry Arabia watching two top level players fight it out on brand new civilizations. Let's get to it. Spawning in on the south side of the map, playing as the Byzantines in the obligatory purple color. It's Crackety here. And on the north side of the map in the color red, playing as Juicy's Legacy, it's Balu. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're here to watch an absolutely beautiful matchup. Two civilizations that I like to consider myself a main of. You know, being a main of a civilization, it's a flexible thing, right? Like, you can main 2 civs, you can main 3 civs, you can main as many civs as you like. But I guess, for me, I played a lot of Juicy's Legacy when this expansion came out, but now I've kind of fallen into the Byzantines, and I tell you what, man, it is so hard. It is such a struggle playing this civilization. So I'm curious to see what Crackety's going to have for us today, what he's been cooking up back here, because I tell you what, I'm excited about today's game. A wonderful matchup, great civilizations, and of course, an amazing map. This is the best map in the business right here. And take a look at the spawns that we've got as well. I just look at the minimap and I'm like, this is ripe for walling. Walls have been really popular, really dominant lately, I've noticed with a lot of games. And noticeably when players don't go for walls, you also really see that and the consequence of it. So I suspect we're probably going to see quite a few here. There's very natural walls for both of these players on the edges of the map. So I reckon we could be in for a long one. So worst comes to worst, let's think a little bit further along. If these two civs go late, which one's going to win? Realistically, you'd probably think the Byzantines because of their olive oil, but then Juicy's Legacy's still got a lot of things as well. You know, the reason why I consider Byzantines a great late game civ is because they have access to that free that free siege from the foreign engineering company. But when you compare that to Juicy's Legacy, the fact that they also get their own gold income trickling in for the rest of the game just through their imperial officials, and they've got very good imperial officials, mean that, you know, that there's a huge potential there for them in the late game. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes, because we've got Age Ups about to come through a really good position on the front here. If he's going to go for it, we'll have to wait and see. Alternatively, I mean, you could look to throw something down over here. It's only going to be 90 for you, though. But I tell you what, I always prioritize these little food spawns. These are always the best. And hello. Oh, holy moly. No. Oh, God. Wow. Okay. Well. We're going to have a good little chat about this, aren't we, ladies and gentlemen? The Meditation Gardens, a wonderful landmark that is defined as a passive landmark. It generates resources based on the resources that are in its immediate vicinity. Now, some things are included, some things are not included. And one of the things that is included is stone outcroppings. 1, 2, 3. That's 90 stone every minute coming in for free. Well, not for free. You got to build the landmark. And a gold. That's 30 gold. And some trees in here as well. Looks like maybe about 30 trees as well. Wow, what a Meditation Gardens. I tell you what, Balu scouted it out and spotted an absolutely cooked position. That is ludicrous. Well, speaking of cooked, let's get down onto that south side of the map, because Crackety here is cooking up a grand winery for us. Not going to be the Hippodrome today, which I think makes a lot of sense. You know, in this matchup, I've been doing some maths on it, and one of the things that I took away from it as the Byzantines is javelin throwers are okay, except you can't really get up to enough javelin throwers to ever kill the Zhukunu. And I kind of hate that, because when you think about it, a javelin thrower should absolutely destroy the Zhukunu. The problem is, you've got 4 javelin throwers and they've got 20 Zhukunu. You've got 8 javelin throwers and they've got 35 Zhukunu. You've got 12 javelin throwers and they're up to 50. And it's like, okay, well, I'm getting one shot here anyway. What's the point in having javelin throwers? So I think the key here is actually going into longbows, because longbows, I don't know if they're a little bit faster, but just having that extra 1 range and the fact that you can kite them very efficiently, it kind of feels like when you're playing as the English. And I think in this matchup that works very well, because you don't have access to the archer as Juicy's Legacy, and it means that you kind of have to fall into one of 2 units, either the Horseman or the Palace Guard. Now, the Horseman, easy to deal with. Get a Spearman out, you're all good, or in this case, Lamet and I. Spearman or Palace Guard, on the other hand, well, that's just going to take brute force amount of units. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how it goes, but it looks like we already might have some developments. This is going to be, wow, this is kind of wild to see. You know, when the Byzantines first came out, this was my theory. It was like, oh, this is clearly like a 2TC fast castle civilization. And then 2TC was just really, really slow. But we see right here, this is a good little timing that Crackety's got here. I'm impressed that he's gone for that second cistern as well. Age Up comes in. Beautiful timing. Grand Winery is down. You can see he's heavily on the berries, so expect him to be looking... Oh, Town Center, a bit of a weird spot right there. I guess technically it is on the gold, and he's trying to keep it close to the main base without necessarily... Are they touching? They are too. Look at that. He's trying to keep it close to the main TC without necessarily risking that Jugunu all-in, because that's something that you've got to be very careful of. But let's check in with Crackety, because what's he scouted out? Not a whole lot back here, and that's another thing to note, is he hasn't really spotted what his enemy's up to, whereas Balloon knows exactly what Crackety's up to. He can click on the stone outcropping, see how much is there, and he can subsequently move his units around or his villages around depending on what he wants to do. And I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for a second town center. And indeed, that's exactly what he's going to be doing here. Now, let's check in with the meditation gardens, because we've got 90 stone a minute, 30 wood a minute, 13 wood per minute. Not too bad, 13 wood, I'll take it. 132 resources every minute coming in. Not bad at all. And now Crackety just being annoying over here. Something that you see a lot of top level players do is this annoying little shenanigan, pushing the deer away from the town center. Oh, get out of it, Crackety. Get out of it, mate. But he pushes him a little bit far. Not too much to worry about there. Second TC is now up for Crackety on the south side. Coming up here as well for Baloo, but expect him to go into that third TC shortly. Question's going to be whether Crackety spots that out. He knows about the scout. Does he know where the meditation gardens are? I don't think he does. And that could be difficult for him, because if his enemy goes into 3 TC while he's on 2, he may get caught out a little bit behind. Let's just put it that way. Beautiful base building here. Now, one of the things that Crackety's doing really well here is with the placement of the aqueducts. With the aqueducts, initially I was very not excited, but I was very supportive. I was like, oh, this is great. You know, the aqueducts work really well. But the more and more I've played the Byzantines, the more I've learned that with the aqueducts, you want to try and keep them square like this. You always want to try and keep those 90-degree angles and then look to play into the corners of them. What do I mean by that? I mean, so in this situation here, you create a corner with the aqueduct and the town center. You want to always play into that corner. So that means putting a building right into that corner, because if you leave space, there's a good chance you're not going to be able to use it. So you just have to keep that in mind when you're doing it, because you won't be able to cross the aqueduct with any building other than the olive grove. That's the only building that can cross the aqueduct. So keep that in mind. It can also be a little bit difficult as well, trying to put down the aqueduct when you don't even have the landmark down. That was something difficult I was dealing with. But we do now start to see the mercenary house going to be coming up here. You know, we talked about the Byzantines being solved a couple of videos ago. We watched someone that we assume was Puppy Paw solving the Byzantines, or what appeared to solve the Byzantines. And I think that largely came down to mercenary choice and going into javelin throwers. So I'm curious to see what Crackety does here. Whether he looks to go into javelins as well, whether he looks to go... He's going to go into Keshiks. Interesting decision. Okay, so playing it... This is kind of wild, right? Because I feel like he's playing it the same way that you would play the Chinese. The same way that you'd play almost the Ottomans, in a way. It's just, you know, the 2 town center, a little bit of a boom with the Grand Winery... And that's essentially it. And, you know, what's kind of wild to me is this was the first way that we were thinking of playing the civilization, but it became clear that just from a tempo perspective, it lacks. Compared to other civilizations, you really notice the deficit in tempo. So let's have a look and see whether Crackety's going to be able to survive the early game here as his opponent now begins to put down an archery range. Do we have a potential tilt at a feudal age play here? I think that's one of the strengths of Jussi's legacy. I do think their feudal is very, very strong. And that's mainly just because they do have palace guards in the feudal age. That's a huge bonus for them, as well as just being able to transition into a huge food economy. You got to remember that when you've got those 3 granaries pumping that 10% on each of them, and that stacks, by the way, stacks up with that 45% bonus, stacks with your imperial official, it feels really, really good. So the earlier you can get that out, the better. And obviously, if you're spending resources on your age up, then you're not spending them on your farms. So that's important to know. But have a look at this. Villager going to go down. Crackety actually managing to take that one out with an outpost. He's put the outpost on the gold, which is definitely a smart move. We could see Balu was trying to be a little bit aggressive there with that villager, but now the units are well and truly out. We've got an imperial official just going to be supervising up the lumber camp for the moment. How many more do we have out on the field? It's tough to tell at this stage. We can double click them. I can see 2. That's pretty much it. That's about where you'd expect. So, for Baloo at the moment, it looks like it's just going to be a couple of units into some sort of castle age. Keshik is now out. Expect to see the walls. There's the walls immediately. And oh, look at the way he's walling. You can see a real difference between these 2 players and their philosophies on walling. You know, do I wall the entire map? Yes. Do I wall a little bit? By little bit, yes. I'm a much bigger... My preference is definitely smaller little segments like the way that we've seen here by Crackety. I think this makes the most sense, just because it's a lot harder to interrupt. Let's just put it that way. But speaking of interruptions right now, Keshik's going to be moving forward and looking to try and find any sort of interception they can, and they will begin to pick that up. Over on that east side, it looks like we've already begun to see a bit of a palisade wall breakdown coming in over on that right-hand side of the base. Keshik numbers looking good. Keep in mind, he didn't go for the Hippodrome here, so he's not going to be able to heal these Keshiks up unless he goes for it the old-fashioned way. Outpost getting thrown down as quickly as he can. You can see Crackety rushing for it. There's the Golden Horn Tower. Have a look at that. He's literally made only mercenaries. Very interesting decision from Crackety at this stage of the game, focusing on getting up. But you can see, this is the part that kind of gets me. It's because everything I do, I compare it to my main civ, China or to English. At this point, 2TC, fast castle with no units in between, you're talking about like an 8-minute click up. Crackety's clicking up at 11 minutes. Like, the tempo difference is absolutely insane to me, how these civs can be so far apart. But I guess the reality is that that's a lever that's going to have to get pulled, a lever that's going to have to get fixed. More Keshiks up towards that top side. Crackety doing a decent job of keeping his opponent on his toes. That's going to be... how many village... 3 worker kills already this game? Where were the other worker kills? Did I miss those? How did I miss those? It must have been Keshik somewhere. Farm transition now coming through for Balu. This is looking good. Exactly what you want to see at this stage of the game here. Beautiful little transition. These farms, normally you want to try and fill out the initial rings around the granaries first. But, I mean, realistically, he could probably be looking for a third granary down here. But more and more upgrades now coming through. And you can see no villagers now on gold for Balu. He's going to be just focusing on the other resources. And this makes a lot of sense, I think, in his current position. A little bit of a wall around the back here. Nice quick wall attempt from him as well, just to prevent these Keshiks from coming through. There's plenty of units here. Is he blocking with the vills? No, he's not I thought he was blocking with the vills. It turns out he's not blocking. He's just jumping inside. Very well contained here by Balu on this north side of the map. And at the same time, over towards the east side, we can see the rebuilt wall has come through. Crackety looking to once again deflect that. Keep in mind, he is in the castle age. And we see the monk. Well, I don't like your chances, buddy, but correctly done. Definitely the right assessment there, Mr. Monk. Returning back to where you came from. Not a good idea to head into there. Villager count starting to go in favor of Balu, though. He's up by 6 at the moment. Definitely not as high as I thought it would go, but you're starting to feel it. Varangian Guard coming out. Hello, how you doing, buddy? Are we going to see Berserking out from him? I feel like Berserking this would be the worst unit to do Berserking against, because you're essentially taking their damage from 1 every round up to, like, what is it, 4 every round, basically. So it's a big difference. Vills come out. He gets the upgrade through on time. Beautifully done there. Now Varangian Guards on the front, just slowly working away at the melee units, just trying to get rid of that siege. Third Varangian Guards here, looking to defend, and we'll be able to find it here. Now, keep in mind, he did go for the Golden Horn Tower. He's on a level 4 cistern here. Wants to try and hit that level 5 cistern network. Probably might think about throwing it over on the other side of the wall, over to the berries. Could be an option for him. Now begins to come forward. Will look to re-wall. It's going to be the Montlu Academy coming through for his opponent, though. Balu going to be moving into the... I guess you wouldn't call this the... this is definitely the secondary landmark. You know, often you see the Shaolin Monastery coming out first for players, and then moving into the Montlu Academy. So it's curious to see him coming up here with this landmark, but I suspect this is because he is behind on the age up, and he knows that his opponent opened with the Grand Winery. Grand Winery doubles as a monk maker, as a monastery. And because of that, it just naturally feels like, you know what, I'm going to be a little bit behind here. I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to do it. So I think that's probably the right justification here. And immediately we see these upgrades starting to come through, looking for the single whip reform, a little bit of extra movement speed for the boys, and then throwing down that monastery straight away. Look at this. Immediately throwing down the monastery and the monk being supervised out. So maybe that's the mindset he was going for, because you can't supervise your monks out of the Shaolin Monastery, but you can out of the monastery itself. So that's a big difference. But now Varangian Guards together with the Keshiks. We might have a killer combo coming out from the Byzantines today. How you doing? Phil's beginning to move forward here. Keep in mind, these are only melee units he's up against, so should be able to easily repair through this, I say, as that wall really starts to burn. He's having a tough time. Might have had to go for a secondary wall, but unfortunately the spear's still yet to be upgraded. No veterancy in sight, and Keshik's going to be heading straight for those farms. Oh, Lord, he coming. Indeed he is. Ville's getting taken out. Meanwhile, behind this, more and more units going to continue rallying across the map. Crossbows going to be joining the battlefield early on for Crackety, despite the lack of crossbows coming through, or rather lack of armored units coming through for his opponent. Nice micro. Spears up against the Keshiks. At the same time, all the ranged units looking to try and micro. We've got Gulams now joining the field as well. Keep in mind, these guys do have access to the Abbasid special ability to train siege out on the field. Really, really nice ability. Navarangian guards in the woodline. Things not looking pretty all of a sudden here for Baloo. He's lost 14 workers, 15 workers. It continues to go. Geez, talk about a timing from the Byzantines. Feels a little bit slow, though. I'm not going to lie. 15 minutes, but I guess this is a bit of a greedy game, so you can afford to be a little bit slow. We'll switch it over to the income so we get an idea of where these guys currently sit. But keep in mind, there's a lot of units in Baloo's base, so naturally, he's probably going to be a bit lower than his opponent. Front has completely opened up here for Crackety. Golden Horn Tower still pumping units out non-stop. A few more Keshiks on the way here. Whew. Not a good time to be a Keshik right there, that's for sure. And now up towards that top side. It looks like the only safe food source he's got, he's realized, are the berries. He's jumped on it for 11 food and said, maybe we can push him off. Yeah, you're right. Let's push him off. Look at this. Look at this aggression coming out from Crackety here with the villagers on the front line looking to steal away that large gold vein from his opponent. How close did that spawn? I guess they spawned relatively close to both of their town centers. Kind of. This one feels extra close, but maybe that's just because he has expanded in this direction, so it feels really close. And I think that's it, right? Like, you look at Crackety, he hasn't really expanded in that way. Just a few, just a town center, a farm or two, that sort of thing. All right, well, Crackety really starting to build quite a few Varangian guards. Now, I've always been on the fence about, I shouldn't say always. Initially, I was optimistic about this unit, but I'm on the fence about it recently. I'm curious whether Crackety's going to be able to change my mind. Because this unit, it feels a bit lackluster. It feels like everything a Men-at-Arms shouldn't be. It just dies so quickly when you pop the Berserking. And I like the idea, but I feel like the armor just gets reduced by a little bit too much. Like, one of the things I love about a unique unit is often, it's not just there's, like, how do I say it? You look at the longbow, right? What does it get? It gets extra range. It gets extra damage. What's the trade-off? You pay a little bit more, you move a tiny little bit slower. That's it. Whereas here with the Varangian Guard, it's like you've got less health, you cost more, and you lose your armor when you use your special ability. It's like, what's good about the unit? I don't get it. I don't get it. But maybe Crackety will change my mind. Perhaps he knows the secrets to the Byzantine. Oh my lord, he knows the secrets to the Byzantines, baby. It's got to be olive oil. There's no two ways about what? How is that even legal? Look how many villagers he has on farms this early. 18 minutes in. How many villagers on farms is that? How many farms? 53 farms? I guess this is 2TC, right? I've never played 2TC Byzantines. Outside the, like, third game of the Byzantines, I was like, yep, this ain't gonna work. But here Crackety is working his magic, and I'm loving it. He's doing a wonderful job. All right, we're 18 minutes through, and as you guys know, at 18 minutes, you've got to take your customary swig of whatever drink you're having. For me, today, it's going to be a Red Bull energy drink, summer edition, Juneberry flavor, which is an S tier Red Bull. Oh my god, that is so good. I tell you what, if you're a sweet tooth like myself, you're going to love the Juneberry, mate. Juneberry. What is a Juneberry, by the way? Are these weren't showing up as idle, were they? They were just, they were in the back of the limo right there. Did you guys see that? They were having a good time. All right, well, I don't think it's going to be lasting for too much longer, though. Crackety's broken through. Meditation Gardens will not be meditating for much longer. These are going to be... these are going to be the internal manifestation garden. I don't know. What's the opposite of meditation? These are going to be the anxiety gardens. I mean, meditation, it's not really a state of mind, is it? It's more of like an act. You're doing something. So I guess you can call it the molding gardens. Maybe that would be it. Maybe that's the opposite of meditation. But meditation implies that you've got some sort of inner peace going on. Whereas, yeah, I guess molding would be the opposite of that, wouldn't it? Molding's kind of like, these are now the molding gardens. All right, well, Song Dynasty's still in for Baloo. We are getting some pretty quick farm transitions coming through. 45 farms at the moment for Baloo. Crackety, 56 farms. Exactly where you want to be in. Have a look at this. Just perfect coverage with the systems. Absolutely perfect. Not a single farm is missed except for that one, which the villager still picks up. Now, does the villager hold that irrigation bonus for the duration of its gather? Because look, it's still got it right now. Because it runs in, collects the I think it sticks on the worker for a little bit. Yeah, look at that. It's still, he holds it. And now he's finished. And he comes back in. So even then, this little guy right here, he's still got the bonus. So maybe it just goes a little bit further as well. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but impressive. This is you. That's you. This is the guy she tells you not to worry about. Look at this cute little bit. What are you doing right there? You know, you're just in case a chop through is going to come in with 46 villagers along this wood line slowly but steadily through. All sacred sites taken. The advantage currently sits with the Byzantines. Words I thought I would never say. Could we be looking at a world-first Byzantine victory? It may be on the cards for us, ladies and gentlemen. The Foreign Engineering Company is coming online. This is the landmark that I've been waiting to talk about. This landmark, I mean, we've talked about it before and about why it's so powerful. For me, the main reason is you can turn this olive oil into a tangible gold benefit in the late game because you're inevitably going to run out and you're left with a couple of options. Do I trade? Do I rely on my relics? What am I going to do? Get here. Oh, are we making Royal Knights? Oh, Lord. He is making Royal Knights. Outpost will come up here, but the village is working its magic. The Knights come out. These guys are upgraded. Boom, boom, boom. Never mind. Outpost with barely anything left on it will not be going up today. So interesting decision going to Royal Knights here. I don't think I've ever seen a Byzantine player make Royal Knights, but there you go. Now, when he gets Imperial Age, these Royal Knights will get their Royal Bloodlines because this also unlocks the unique... Mercenaries receive various unique technologies from their original Civ. So that would mean that these probably get Chivalry as well. Royal Bloodlines. There's the Royal Bloodlines coming through. So I'm expecting they probably have Chivalry in them as well. Because it's all the unique stuff. At least, but it says selected. Oh my lord, look at the upgrades. Ferocious Speed. Elite Varangian Guards. Elite Mercenary Contracts. Elite Crossbows. Acid Distillation. Why the hell not? At this stage of the game, Crackety's just getting everything. Just click all the buttons, Crackety. Now we got the Mangonel Outposts. Mangonel Outposts are online. Anybody for a Mangonel Outpost? Don't mind if I do. Stone walls all the way up. Imperial Age for his opponent as well. Balu, now looking to go into 10,000 bolts. Not an upgrade that we often see utilized well. I'll say that much. I don't often see this upgrade and I'm like, oh, I'm glad he went for this upgrade. This is a totally sick upgrade. Like, very rarely do I see this upgrade and I'm like, yeah, that was worth it. It always just feels a bit lackluster. But maybe that's just because I don't know if players understand how it works as well as it should. At the moment, he's got 41 crossbows. And that's not a double damage of 41 crossbows. That's like 41 crossbows to like 43 crossbows. And let me tell you why. It reduces the second bolt's damage by half. But you got to remember, it's a crossbow. Never mind, we'll talk about it later. Spearman moving forward. Elite crossbows on the back. Nested bees teeing off into the center of mass. And look at the damage being done. Keep looks like it is going to get up. Mangonel shot comes out. I love the way it moves. Those mango shots are just so damn good. But it looks like they might be getting caught up on the wall. Trebuchet going to come out here. Nested bees still firing off. And the crossbows on the back line having an absolute field day. Is that a wall segment that is not going to get up right there? It looks like it might be. Villagers standing by idle. Now it's going to pop up. Let's have a look to see what the response is going to be. And 4 villagers working it up will eventually make way. We can see the units getting cleaned up completely. And Crackety here going to have to head back to the drawing board and determine perhaps a new approach to this Mangonel emplacement strategy. I mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong. It's just... Is that an appropriate word? I feel like it probably is. Anyway, Crackety's done a good job at taking the map, though. We got to admire that. Have a look at the minimap. It's Crackety in full control at this stage. Elite Royal Knights are out. Feels kind of good to be a Byzantine main at this point. You're mixing the Elite Royal Knights with the Elite Kazakhs. Like, he's just getting armies from around the world at this stage of the game. So, next question. Where my cat... Hui hui pow. Gotta get that. Hui hui pow. Gotta get that. Hui hui pow. Gotta get that. I'm gonna get DMCA'd if I keep singing that. Hui hui pow. It really just goes though, doesn't it? Pow. Okay, I'll stop. Crackety. 198 population up against Balu. 200 population. Crossbowman number looking pretty solid. So let's just talk about this crossbow upgrade just for a bit, because I want y'all to understand. Okay. The crossbow does 15 plus 2, 17 damage with 11 against heavy. Okay, so a total of 28 damage. And that's going to be up against armored units, like the Varangian Guard. That's got, at the moment, 7 armor. But let's just say, let's say it goes up to 8, okay? So you're up against 8 armor. You're doing, oh, we just got an upgrade. You're doing 21 damage. Oh, sorry, 31 damage. So that 31 now becomes 23. The problem with the upgrade 10,000 bolts is it reduces that second bolt's damage by half. So that means that instead of doing 31 damage, you're now doing 15. And instead of that 15 damage translating as 15 damage, it doesn't, because armor is applied that second time, which means you're only doing 7 damage that second time. Which means that you're going from that big bonus of damage. It's essentially like 1/3 the damage. But we'll worry about it later as he's trying to fight his way around this little corner. Nest of bees versus nest of bees. Just when you thought there weren't enough bees in the hive opens up inside and says, surprise, I'm alive. Continues to push up. Look at the posturing right here. Where's that Hui Pao? Let's take a look and see. Oh, there she is. A little bit further away. Jeez, that's got some range on it, doesn't it? He's only got the one out at the moment, but a second one is in queue. If I remember correctly, these do only take up 3 population. They do. So these are as efficient as a trebuchet. Just a little bit better. Just a little bit better. Palace Guards now coming out for Baloo. Big economy behind this as well. Have a look at the size of that. Just looking at about 6,000 resources every minute. And coming through on the front line, the Varangian Guards with their upgrade. They've got their elite army tactics through. Krakeny holds a slight villager advantage. When it comes to the income, sits at 2,700 food a minute. Slightly more than his opponent here, but keep in mind he's got the 800 olive oil per minute on top of it. Now crossbows teeing off towards the Varangian Guards. Could this be it as they pop their berserking? Look at them go through it. He's trying to melt the front line. He's having a bit of a tough time as the mangonel... Oh, it's got the mangonel emplacement on the stone wall. He's allowed to do that now. That used to be banned in tournaments. Not allowed anymore. But now, third trebuchet arriving on the scene. Does he go for the banned upgrade? Oh my god, imagine if he goes for the banned upgrade. It's unironically banned in tournaments. Like, you cannot get the upgrade. Let's see, maybe is that it? Is that the key here? Is that the key to the Byzantines? Let's check. He's got a siege workshop. Oh, it's still sitting there. Greek fire projectiles. It could be it. Does he dare? Stonewall Tower on fire. Nest of bees lighting him up. Krakeny down to 167 population. His opponent pushing him back well and truly. Sacred Site with 3 minutes to go on it. Tower's gone down. Nest of bees sit on that Sacred Site. I think this is going to be it. There's no way that this sacred victory is coming through. I'm taking a quick swig. Oh, it's good. It's really good. Palace Guards on the way through. Villagers moving up forward. You can see he's running out of wood back home. Has to come out all the way to the front here to get that additional wood. And now that Sacred Site will be neutralized. Sacred victory no longer on the cards. Hui Pao, my gosh, look at the size of them. When they unpack, they get going. And you can't put something so heavy with alien technology. It just doesn't work. The alien technology does not work with a vehicle so heavy. And I know that there's all of these people saying, oh, well, Drongo, they use, some... I was going to go into the science of vehicles that travel at light speed. But look, is it the Alcubierre drive, I think it's called? It's a little bit beyond my comprehension at this stage. All I know is they go fast. They gotta go fast. They're like Sonic, but in space. Big shots coming through. Roller shutter triggers on the way here for Krakeny. Still yet to pick up that Byzantine fire. That Greek fire projectile. Now the horse archers teeing off. We did see an Imperial upgrade. It's going to be the Temple of the Sun getting thrown down. Where's he going for? It looks like it might be towards that front of the base. And now those Hui Pao working their magic. Only 2 horse archers out, but he's got the... Keep in mind, you get all the upgrades along with it. And now the crossbowmen coming out as well for Krakeny. Varangian Guards once again looking to tee off towards the front. The Temple of the Sun still on the way through. They're going to pop their berserking, and the Nest of Bees just absolutely lighting them up. Look at the damage that comes through right there. Hui Pao working as these long-range Springalds. Nest of Bees still having a field day out here. I tell you what, you've heard of Between Two Ferns. Have you heard of Between Two Stone Walls? Probably not, because I just made it up then, and it's probably not worth reading or watching for that matter. No, it's worth watching. You better bloody keep watching. Don't turn it off right now. We're just getting good. We're just getting started right here. We're seeing a Byzantine world first. They made it to the Imperial Age without being at a significant disadvantage. Crackety now going to be under pressure as Palace Guards begin making their way through. Keep in mind with Berserking, you get an attack or a movement speed bonus. When you pop that, he does have that new upgrade in the Imperial Age. You can see 1.8 or 1.46 movement speed. Treb's working it down though. Hui Hui Power going to have to fall back away from that front. Palace Guards making their way through here. 3 relics against 2. We've just seen now, and he's actually got this bad boy on olive oil. Producing olive oil rather than producing the gold. And now the Varangian Guards have run out of Berserking, and the Palace Guards are going to leave them in the dust. I think he's got the infantry movement speed on. Yeah, he does. These guys are running so damn fast. 1.58 movement speed because, well, why not? Why not? And now under real pressure. Crackety 158 population against 200. How does he pull himself back into this game? Greek fire projectiles? Does he dare? He shouldn't. It's banned. It's illegal. He can't use it in tournaments, so you might not, well... Oh, hello. 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 And he knows as well. He's looking to get him out on the field here. This could clean up. Oh, he's coming around the top side. Units aren't really in position. And Crackety's struggling right now to keep the head above water as the Palace Guards fly their way through. Varangian Guards clean up the first of the nest of beasts. Trebuchet's going to go down. Elite Royal Knights now cleaning up the rest of it. Looks like we've got... Is there a hand cannoneer mixed in there? No, it's just the crossbows. Are they getting their double shots off? There's the double shot. You can actually see the bonus or the reduced damage. They do 9 with +4. So 13 damage. Oh gosh, 13 damage against your Royal Knight with 8. So they're doing 6 damage on that last shot. And on their main shot, they're doing what? They're doing 31 minus 8. So yeah, they're doing about 1/3 of the damage. It's a bit of a meme. All right, so even though we had Crackety walling up early on, one of the things to note is he never actually fixed this wall. It was always open towards the front, which is fine. You can always look to try and defend it. The problem that you're going to have is when you can't defend it, you're going to leave an open gate for your opponent. And that's exactly what Crackety did. So even a small wall across the front could have been enough to keep those Palace Guards out and bought him a little bit of time. But you can see he's lost a fair few villagers here. 43 against 43 on the worker loss tab at this stage of the game. Upgrades on the way through for Balu. Keep going to be thrown down on the front here. If he secures this keep on the front, that's going to guarantee he's got a great position to push off here. And now the Varangian Guards looking to make a connection. Beautiful kiting coming through from Balu, his opponent. At the same time on that backside, Varangian Guards do a wonderful job of just chasing away these Palace Guards, managing to catch up to them as well with that Berserking. Nice little walls out here as well. You'll never get this sacred site, he says. You will never get this. More and more Royal Knights coming out. Look at the pump right now. He is just pumping Royal Knights. This is ludicrous. I thought Keshiks would be all good. Mercenary production speed increased by 50% from a nearby trade post. Dude, I did not know that's a thing. How can you... Does that mean if you brought a cistern out here and just had a level 5 and put it on military, this thing would be pumping at 150%? There you go. You learn something new every day. The Byzantines have been out for what? A week, 2 weeks? And we're still learning over here. All right, a little bit of a truce period right here. Let's see how long it lasts for, rather. At this stage of the game, upgrades are starting to come through for Balu. It's those final little upgrades. How many has he picked up from the Montlu Academy? Interestingly, I don't see this one coming through. Imperial Red Seals. I'm always a big fan of the seals. It just depends, you know. It's the ones in the Navy that always make it difficult. But anyway, I saw another Shane Gillies bit. He was talking about Navy SEALs. He's like, he loves to talk shit about his exes. And he's like, you can talk shit easily about the bad ones, but then it's like, fucking Navy SEALs. Anyway, let's worry about that later. We got Varangian Guards looking to take their shields off and get into the dirty part of town. Running around the outside. Ville's going to get pulled here. He's trying his best. He's done a pretty decent job. And look up towards the top side. Beautiful flankaroonie coming in right there. Together with the Royal Knight. Unfortunately, the Nest of Beasts still stands strong. Villagers getting pulled there mean it's going to be able to stand the test of time. As long as that test of time is for another 10 seconds. Because there's more Royal Knights on the way through. And look like they will be indeed connecting. Unfortunately. Oh Lord. He coming. He made it. Gee, sometimes... They don't think it be like it is, but it do. Oh, Lord. Wait, what? Why? Okay, fair enough. Was it trebuchets? Did he delete it? Did he want to get on the inside? Did he want to get on the walls? I don't know what the reason was. How did the Varangian Guard get on the inside? We're not too sure. I don't know what happened then. And quite frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. I think that was the quote. I hope I got that right. I feel like the Royal Knights are actually doing a lot of work here. They are the one unit that is making sure these sieges kept under control. And Varangian Guards, I think he's changing my mind about this unit. They go toe-to-toe with the Palace Guard. Now, Palace Guard ain't the best when it comes to fighting. I'll say that much. They're very good at running, which Varangian Guards are pretty good at doing as well. But they're holding their own, I'll say that much. Nesta B's numbers, still pretty low at the moment. It's 1 for Baloo. Scores very even. Breakthrough attempt on the west side. Harissa Fonsa here. Walls thrown down immediately. Oh, he's burning the villagers! Oh, the villagers are dying to the fire! Oh, Greek fire! You dirty devil. And then the villagers are like, oh, yeah, let me fix that up. They did not die. I'm sorry. Look, I respect fire, but you did not die nearly fast enough in that fire. That should have been a very quick death. You did not come out here holding your fresh bales of wheat or rice like nothing happened. I'm sorry, but if you get burned with that sticky stuff, you are dead. That's it. You should all be dead. It's not often I advocate for people dying in a fire, but your villagers should be dead. Get out of here, Varangian Guards. They'll clean it up. Meanwhile, towards the middle of the map, we got a real fight going on right now. He's reached Ming Dynasty Baloo, which means he's doing slightly more damage on these units. Keep in mind, he doesn't get that damage bonus on the elite crossbowmen. So, but the Palace Guards will get it. They are unique units. Unique New York. Oh, Lord. This is becoming one of those casts where it's like, you get a little bit crazy. The longer they go, the crazier they get. 36 minutes into this game right now. Have a look at the income. 4K food per minute. Pumping. What's he even making with 4K food? Is it literally just Varangian Guards? How is he doing this? Only Varangian Guards. They're 90 food, 40 gold. That's pretty gold heavy. And he's only got 316 gold a minute. Does he need to trade? I feel like he might need to trade to get that gold out. Like, where else is he spending this food? Is he just selling it at the market or something? There's surely no way he can support Varangian Guard 100%. Like, he does have 25 vils on gold, though. That's a fair bit. Where are they, though? I'm looking on the minimap. He's stealing away gold? Oh, they're over here on the east side. And he's just found it. Okay, this should be good for him. I think now it's an imperative time to set up trade, though. You got a couple of options as to where you can go. But this one definitely seems like the safest bet. You can probably throw it back here. Go even a little bit further back. As long as you've got your wall up, just to make sure that you're going to be able to navigate them correctly along that edge of the map. Remember that if you put the market here, they're just going to try and walk across the center. Whereas if you put a palisade wall all the way along to here, then all of a sudden they're going to look to try and walk along this line because it's going to be a little bit easier. But now, rallying into the base, Varangian Guard's going to be tanking up the shots of the castles or the keeps as they slowly but steadily whittle down the villager count. Villager count. He's only got 40 villagers. Where did the villagers go? Was it the Byzantine fire? Did he burn all the villagers? There's no way. There's no way. How is he on 42 villagers? What happened to Baloo? We saw the Varangian Guards sneaking in. We saw them murdering at the front, but I didn't think that was it. In the middle of the map, there were units as well. Was it just a case of Baloo falling asleep at the wheel? He's got units in queue, so we know he's there. We know he's at the keyboard. But behind this, Crackety's in prime position. It feels like just a classic case of I didn't build enough walls in the late game. It's something that we've all come down with before. I remember my doctor diagnosed me last week with that. He said, Drongo, you didn't build enough walls. She's actually a she, but... And I'll be honest, she didn't diagnose me with that. It was much worse. Oh, no, not really. I haven't been diagnosed with anything in a while. You know, sometimes I like Google stuff, and I'm like, hey, dog, I think I got this disease. Drongo, stay off the Google. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Palace Guard. So the good thing is, at this stage of the game, Baloo's got 3 TCs, which means he's slowly getting back up to par on the villager count. It's going to take him a while to get there, though. And with the resources he's got in the bank, I'm almost tempted to say, Baloo, it's worth throwing down an extra 2 TCs at this point. Definitely. The problem's going to be in the interim. Has he looked to pick up that upgrade? Still, we don't see Crackety picking up that band upgrade just yet. Oh, man, I can't believe it. I think that might be the first time we see Byzantine villagers dying, or rather killing. You know, it's usually legacy villagers dying in a fire. Literal death by fire. Wow. Okay. Varangian guards working down that meditation gardens. Not going to be able to find it, though. Palace guards managed to clean it up. And now it's about whether Balu's going to be able to hold. He needs to bide time. That's the big key here. The problem is he's up against royal cannons, so he needs to move into springalds, and we can see he's done that. He's got one springald out at the moment. Has he picked up roller shutter triggers? He has. I think he's picked up siege works as well. I wish there was a button I could press to... No, he hasn't picked up siege works just yet, but he's pretty well done. No roller shutter triggers out either for Crackety. That's important to note, because it could mean that when it... Oh, actually, I'm just thinking right. I'm thinking out loud. There's a distinct lack of crossbows on this side. They're all over towards the middle right now. I take it back. It's all palace guards at the moment. That's the crossbows. I'm a little bit blind here. Ignore me. I'll just cut. I'll just what's it called? I'll just spectate the game. You guys just watch. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But seriously. We got him. All right. Crackety, 19 Varangian guards, 20 Varangian guards in queue. He's ready to... He's pumping right now. He is ready to go. When he loses units, he's going to be able to reinforce straight away. I don't know what happened with this sacred site over on this top side. I'm curious, but now it looks like Balu's going to be getting back a little bit of his own. Villagers running for it, but the palace guards, you can see Crackety responding immediately. Triple nest of bees. You can't nest of bees, me. No one makes me bleed my own nest of bees. Varangian guards diving in at Mark 3. Look at them go as they dive in. Absolute top speed behind this. The numbers of villagers. Let's just keep that in mind. Crackety's going down as well. I tell you what, at this point, Kesha is playing for both of these players. I am yelling timber. He needs to try and survive through the nest of bees. The nest of bees. The nest of bees! No, nobody makes me bleed my own bees. Nest of bees able to take them out. Absolute destruction right there. Probably got about 5 of them. Not a huge amount. I was a little bit worried, but I may have overhyped it. I overhyped it. I apologize. Crackety losing villagers. It's villagers. There's losses on both sides right now. And there's the trade finally being set up for Crackety, and he does indeed have that wall. That's going to guide his traders home. That will take them home. That will send them to where they need to go. And still, Crackety struggling. Yet he is up on the villager count, sitting at about double where his opponent is at the moment. Military numbers equal. But if anything, that's still going to favor Balu. He's got the Imperial officials. It's going to be providing that gold income generating in the late game. You can see them running around here at full speed. But now the difficult part comes for Balu. And that's biding time once again. He lost plenty of villagers there. 159 workers killed so far this game by Crackety. Elephant joins the field. I tell you what, this is a hard civilization to play against in the late game. They've just got so many different things. It's like, oh, elephant. Well, I wasn't expecting an elephant. How am I going to deal with that? Royal cannons. Oh, royal knights, horse archers. It's just like they just pick on the roulette wheel. Roulette wheel? Yeah, you know, the wheel of death. They're like, what am I going to take? Traders on the way. 91 gold, 30 olive oil. I'll take that trade. That's pretty damn good. Plenty more of them coming as well. Have a look at this. He's queued up for days here. This is going to guarantee his income. Needs to get this stone wall up. I like how he, instead of deleting the mining camp, you know, anything but deleting the mining camp, he goes around it. I wonder why he didn't delete the mining camp. He, like, really made an effort. I feel like you probably could have... Oh, I see what happened. Oh, okay, I see what happened. The problem was that it snapped to the mining camp, and you can't use the mining camp as a wall, so he just kind of had to make it awkwardly around like that. More palace guards now breaking through over onto that west side, but there's an army already here, and it's looking for them. It knows that they're in the vicinity. Cannons fire off. Didn't look like any AoE hit them, but now working those villagers down. Villager count still in favor of Crackety by about 40 at this stage of the game. Another raid through onto the backside. Varangian guard going to be able to pick it up. Only the one. Now the palace guards continue moving on to their next target, but you can see the significant importance of this palisade wall. Just going to delay any kind of threat against villagers. That is the key here. Springalds are up. This is what he needs in this late game. The traders are out. And once the traders are out, this is where it starts to get really difficult to deal with from Balu's perspective. Because his opponent now has infinite gold, infinite resources. Pumping out units non-stop now. Varangian guard's going to start diving in. And absolute massacres on the cards if these guys manage to find villagers. And that's where they head. Straight to the farmland. Balu going to be in trouble here. Couple more palace guards still cleaning up over on that side. Within 30 villages, Baloo is. But unfortunately, Crackety is now striking. Palace guards are here to clean. Looking to try and find their way through. Plenty of damage here. Numbers are looking solid. Baloo, he's down 60 population at the moment. He's fighting to keep his head above water. He needs to move into trash. You can see all he wants to make are palace guards and crossbows. But he needs to move into units that cost food, that cost wood. Speaking of food and wood, Crackety just saving up here for an extra regal royal meal. 15,000 food. Yeah, why not? Why not? 15,000 food. What are you going to do with 15,000 food, Crackety? This is the point of the game where I feel like you can probably afford to just throw down 20 barracks and just stick an infantry unit, stick a Lamentinite in every single one of them. They're nice and cheap. In fact, he doesn't even have the hardened Lamentinite upgrade. He was never going to make a spearman this entire game. And sometimes you just got to respect that. If a man doesn't want to make a spearman, I ain't going to be the guy to tell him to do it. That's completely wrong. I will 100% tell people to make spearmen. All right, numbers looking good. Crackety continuing to push through here. He's up 40 population, up about 16,000 resources at the moment as the cannons work their way through. Keep in mind, these guys have got a range of 10. Up against the Springalds with a range of 12. Always got to be careful against them, though, because these cannons do not have to unpack and repack. You can see they just get up and they move on. This can be difficult because the Springalds have to unpack, shoot, then pack themselves up, try and move out of the shot before the cannons get in. There's the Springalds now. Another big attack. The elephants are here, the Byzantine elephants. Just when you thought it was only the Delhi that was the elephant in the room, the Byzantines come out and say, hey, you guys like late game? We do too. Cannons firing off, teeing off towards the keep. The elephants on the back, looking to try and get scrappy. Varangian guards up against the palace guards. I tell you what, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. If it doesn't go down here, I don't know what will. Look at the crossbows teeing off slowly up against their opponents with that second bow. The keep is staying alive. The villagers still looking to thrive underneath the keep. Cannons firing off towards it. Trebuchet's getting caught out of position. He's looking to try and focus down the elephants. Doing a decent job here. Looks like 2 shots, 3 shots maybe to kill them all. Springalds falling back as well. The Trebs here on the line, but now all the villagers become exposed in this farmland. I tell you what, you wish you could have put this in the back corner and walled it in with stone because it has just been hit repeatedly, routinely, non-stop throughout this game. Villagers once again looking to try and repair up this keep, but it looks like with only seconds remaining, this keep will be going down. Boom, boom, boom. Indeed it does. But the numbers not looking terrible from the Juicy perspective. More and more units being rallied into the base though. Crackety starting to look better and better. Looking stronger. 176 population against 107. Baloo's back down to 50 villagers. I tell you what, in the blink of an eye, he went from 130 villagers down to 42, and he's never recovered from there. It's been a struggle. It's been an uphill battle, but that is going to be the end of his road. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go check out Crackety, an absolute epic game right there, demonstrating a world-first Byzantine victory. No one's done it before him. No one has ever won a Byzantine game until now. So go check him out, go say good day, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.